Hi guys, CodeTutor here and my name is Anil Deshpande. In the previous discussion of MVC architecture for the multiple activities, we have seen that we implement view by separating the view from the activity by having our own interface. So for both of these two screens, we created our own views, which in turn had extension of MVC view, and then you have a constructor to initialize those MVC views, and you have listener in this particular case, which is a list item click listener to identify any clicks that happen on the list view that we have here in the screen. In the previous video, I told that that is the final of the MVC design pattern, but later I realized that we are still left with some unfinished business. The reason why I am saying this is when we implemented the MVC view, we implemented it for these both whole screens. But however, here we have one component which is a list view, and this list view has been implemented using RecyclerView.Adapter, and we did not pay attention to this particular list view. This particular list view still doesn't conform to MVC architecture, and if we are going to adhere to MVC architecture, these individual items in the list view should be treated as view in MVC. So in this video, we will try to understand how to implement MVC for the list view or the recycler view. So let's proceed. Here you can see that all these items, the individual cells in the list view, are nothing but individual views that need to be implemented as a view in a MVC view. And all the data that we are showing are nothing but the model, that is to do item that we need to render in the individual cell of the view. Now, how do we do this? For that, we will create another MVC list item view. This is similar to MVC view, but we have created a separate interface to deal with list items in the list views. And as you can see here, it has same get root view, init view. And here in the bind data to view, we are making it a parameterized method because we would need it as per our requirement here. And then we also have a set list item click listener interface to basically deal with any clicks that happen on the list items of the list view. And then we will implement this particular interface, and we will use this implementation in our adapter. So it's time to have a look at the code. This is the same old code base, and this is the old MVC view, but we will not be using this MVC view. We will have another class called as MVC list item view that we have here. So as I had told a moment back, it has a interface and it has got a setter method for that particular interface, and then we have get root view, init view, and bind data to view. We are using generics because it just makes our life bit easier. Let's go back to the implementation. So if I do Control H, here is our to-do list item implementation, and as you can see here, it implements MVC list item view, and the generic term that we will be implementing is for the to-do item that needs to be inflated in the individual cell of the list view. Structure is pretty simple. You have the root view, then to-do item, and then linear layout, and all the individual views that you would need to inflate this particular implementation. And then you have a listener to listen to any on-click events that happen on the individual cell of the list view. And the constructor, the parameters are the layout inflators and the view group. And I basically initialize the root view. Here is the set listener, and then you have get root view, which returns root view that you initialized in the constructor. As you come down in the init views, I basically initialize all the UI widgets which are part of this particular cell, and in the bind data to view, I basically bind whatever the information that I need to render to the UI widgets. Now the thing is, how do I use this particular class in the adapter? So here is the adapter. And most of it looks pretty straightforward. It has got same extension of RecyclerView.Adapter, and it extends to do view holder. But only the difference is now the view holder uses to do list item MVC implementer. So this recycler view holder, we pass our MVC implementer. For the constructor, we need to pass the view. That should not be a major problem. We can just invoke view.getRootView. That will return us the appropriate parameter that we need to pass for the super constructor. Now, how does different methods of the adapter change? If you go to the onCreateView holder, I basically initialize the MVC view and then I invoke initViews, which initializes the UI widgets, and then I do the setClickListener, and then I return the folder containing the MVC view. And if you go to the onBindView holder, here pretty much nothing changes. Only the now difference is now we are dealing with the MVC view rather than individual widgets. So I just need to pass the to-do item to the MVC view using the method bindData2View. BindData2View will basically bind the data that needs to be rendered in the individual cell of the view. And then the get item count remains same. The get view item type remains the same. On item click listener once again pretty much remains the same. And as you can see here, this particular adapter now implements least item click listener. So that is why I have this particular method. And if you go to our main activity implementer, we are just passing root view get context to do list and the least item listener. And through the least item click listener, I basically get the callback on item click listener, and then I basically navigate to a different activity. So all our other implementation pretty much remains the same. Nothing changes. It is just that now what we have done is we have converted our adapter also to use MVC design pattern, and that makes sure that we strictly adhere to MVC design pattern across screens that are implemented using activity or fragment or the least item cell views that we have in our recycler view. So I can now say with this, we are actually done with the implementation of MVC in pretty much all the scenarios that you typically find yourself in Android application development. In the next video, I will meet you with a new topic. So stay tuned. That brings us to the end of this particular video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.